All right, let's just get a roll call so everybody, make sure everybody's here. Rob, you here?
Yep.
Mike, you here?
Yep.
Frederick, you here?
That's affirmative.
All right, good. Okay. All right. And you all know that this is being recorded for the YouTube channel, obviously. I don't care what you say, whatever.
Let me turn off my webcam.
Yeah. There's no video right now. I'm not worried about that. The video, or let's see. Yeah, I'll cut off the front end and the back end of the video. I don't usually go in and edit portions in the middle because it's just too time consuming. So
I get you completely. I
Okay.
stream, so I know the feeling.
All right. So I think we're pretty much ready. Everybody can see the Game of Thrones banner and the characters and move them. Yeah, make sure you can move the tokens. Rob, can you move your dude?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right, just keep in mind I'm fairly new to running live games. I'm hoping this will run in about 2 to 2.5 hours. I try to keep games in that kind of range of time. If it does run longer, I apologize. And if you have a problem with it running longer than that at the time, just let me know and we can decide if we want to stop and pick it up later. That's fine. Yeah, with that, I'm going to get started here. Okay. Bear with me 2 seconds. All right, to direct your eyes towards the chat box. It's going to be a wall of text coming at you. All right, disclaimer. Song of Ice and Fire is a complex narrative where bad things happen to good people. As a GM, I reserve the right to play within the style and tone of the novels. Perils that might befall your characters are done not out of willingness to defeat the players, but instead help create a story that will expand upon our universe and we are creating within the works of George R. R. Martin. Please know that I respect my players, and I am very thankful for everyone that takes the time from their busy lives to help me play this game and create our stories. If one of your characters experiences the horrors of A Song of Ice and Fire firsthand, please know that I do it with admiration for you as a player and believe you can handle it as an adult and for the good of the story. As a GM, I will try to be fair and will never bend the rules to my benefit. That being said, I do not want to spend all session with my head in the books, and so if we have a rules dispute, I will rule in the session and we will look it up, the rule later. I want to keep our games as fast-paced and fun as possible, but still allow for roleplay between characters and our story. Okay. If everybody's good with that, we'll move on.
Yeah.
I am okay with this.
All right. So we see, one second. All right, this is the lodge. One more second here. More text. 3 days ago, you were near the end of a month-long journey, returning home from to the lodge from Last Hearth. You had been chosen as an escort for Lady Talia Hilwood, who had gone north to visit her relations in the far north of the Seven Kingdoms. Talia was a pleasant lady and treated her subjects fairly and with kindness. It made the trip bearable. You had seen a wildling executed, the claims of dire wolves hunting near Last Hearth, and a large drunken feast. But otherwise the days were filled with boredom watching Lady Talia among her kin and granting her protection far greater than you could provide. The way back was no different. As you were escorted by the House Umber men-at-arms until Moat Cailin, the rest of the way led through the Riverlands and then the Crownlands back to King's Landing before returning home. So, starting with the icons from left to right, please go ahead and describe your motivations of your character, why you're with House Hilwood, and describe what you did on your trip north and back.
Peter was raised among House Hilwood. His father was the Master at Arms. His motivation is a deep-seated loyalty to the family, and thus he is a member of their personal guard. And most of his time on the trip north would have been standing around the lady's presence, looking somber, trying to keep the bad things from happening to her.
Okay. Black Ben?
Black Ben is a retainer of House Hilwood. He is more commonly referred to Black Ben due to his dark sense of humor as opposed to his hair color. He, like his father and his family, have a long history of serving House Hilwood, primarily through tracking and ranging the Kingswood and maintaining order within it, within the lands of House Hilwood. He went along as someone who loves the outdoors. He did not pass on the opportunity to go to the north and view one of the more wilder areas of the Seven Kingdoms. Most of his time would have spent scouting for the group, foraging if need be, and generally being the eyes and ears of the group.
Okay. Theomar?
Theomar is back to Westeros after a couple years of serving his time in Essos and getting his night ship in Essos with a Celso company. Arrived in King's Landing and made it to Thringwood and found his way into service of House Hilwood. Fairly new to the house, just a common hedge knight, or even free rider, and mainly was on guard duty. Motivation-wise, he's wanting to set himself a little bit in the glory path. He wants to not die as a peasant.
Okay. So, if there's nothing more to add, we'll move on. So, here we go. Here's the last wall of text for you. Over the last 3 days, God, wrong one. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hush, 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 hush. Oh, it's not pasting when I'm copying. Why not? Alright, so you're not going to see it because I don't know why it's not pasting. Everything was in order until 3 days ago. In the blink of an eye, your dozen men were surrounded and the lady was captured before anyone was able to do much of anything. Peter and the few others had tried to fight back, but had ended up being overwhelmed by sheer numbers and surprise. Blindfolded and taken deep into the forest off any known trail or road, your men were placed in chains and given the scarcest amount of food and water. Where Lady Talia had been taken was a mystery, and no one had seen her since you were taken on the road. Over the last 3 days, men were taken away and from their screams clearly tortured. But you each remain, relatively unharmed except for a lack of water and food. You notice that some of your brothers return, serving you what scraps you get daily, most averting their eyes in shame. Some you never see again. Finding yourself with only one guard early in the morning as he's working on a shit next to the camp instead of paying any sort of attention to you. And you guys are free to roleplay. You are in chains, so keep that in mind.
Are we chained to something, or just...
A very large tree. You're in a semicircle, shoulder to shoulder with each other.
Silently paying attention to the guard, Black Ben leans to Peter. I think now would be the best time to see what we can do about getting ourselves out of here.
Aye. Peter agrees.
Trying to remember the last few days, have they used primarily one set of keys to move us away from the group to take others away to interrogate?
Yeah, you think they are using one set of keys.
Well, we've been trying to... Quite possibly we've been trying to break out of here for a couple days right now, right? And, like, all of our strengths probably had waned, probably exhausted too.
Well, the reason that would be is quite simply that you are very, very hungry and kind of starved, right? So that's the problem.
All right. How in the hell are we going to get out of here? How in 7 hells are we going to get out of here?
I think Black Ben's going to take a look at the chains themselves, see if they're around his wrist, see if there's any way that Sweat and Grime is allowed to maybe try and work his hand through the cuff.
All right, you could roll agility. Wasn't there like there's some sort of agility attribute you could use?
Isn't it contortion or something?
Yeah, there's something like that, which I'm sure you don't have, so you might as well just roll agility.
Yeah. All right, give me 1 second, and I will roll that.
So you attempt to, put your thumb next to your pinky and make your hand as small as possible and pull it out, and you think you might have it, but at the last moment, the pain is just unbearable as your hand starts to be crushed under the strength of the shackles, and you're unable to actually pull it free.
I tried to whisper to Peter. Do you think we can maybe break the tree, push it against my back or something else like that, or push it against my chest, or I could do that with you as well?
Yeah, Peter will take a look at the tree and the chains both for any sign of a way that maybe strength can break us out of this.
When you guys look at the tree, it's a very old tree, and the base of the tree is probably as big around as any person is, at least. And breaking the tree itself would be completely impossible. Perhaps you could break the chains. You don't see anything that is obviously wrong with the chains. They look new, as far as you can tell, which is odd for where you are, right? But they look like they're in good repair. One thing to note that I didn't mention is where you're at in the camp, next to a large campfire, obviously. There's a small trail past the guard that leads probably 100 feet away, and there's a very large pavilion there, and that seems to be where whoever is in charge of this whole deal is at, and there's various men up there. But it's kind of obscured by other trees. You're deep in the Kingswood somewhere, so just keep that in mind.
Maybe we can act out of this.
Ben would say he's not one for acting. He is not good at deceiving people. I don't know if either of you can get your hands out or not. I doubt a distraction would work. There's 3 of us, only one of him, but we are chained.
I think. Could I climb up this tree? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was wondering if we could maybe climb up. You said it was an old tree.
It's an old tree.
Is it like is it a dead tree, old tree?
No, it's alive. It's just the oldness is like why it's so large.
Oh, okay.
It's just a thick, old, ancient tree. The only way, there's no particularly close branches. You could try to scale it. It would be difficult. You'd have to turn around, and you're not, when you like lean forward to see how much slack is in the chain for you to like turn, it would be very difficult to do.
I was thinking maybe we can pull on this, tree with the chains.
I don't know how much slack is in the chain, but one of us could feign injury from lack of food or passing out when he comes over, try and strangle him with it, but that would be a tall order.
That's what I was thinking with the acting. Like, everyone, like was said earlier, there's been a couple people who have come back, and some people haven't. We can...
Well, Peter will try and muscle his way out of the chain. See if the...
Okay, you can roll it. Athletic strength.
All right. I'm sure that's not good enough.
And you quickly try to jerk your hands apart, and you realize that they're not going anywhere, and it makes the chains clanking all together make a terrible noise, and the guard looks in your direction. But before he can really say anything, another person comes down the path, and he sees the guy crapping, and he just laughs and kind of kicks the guy over as he's squatting, and just gives this really weird kind of maniacal laugh and has this huge smile on his face as he kind of almost prances towards you in this very kid-like, odd, strange way. He is average size, build. He's got kind of a widow's peak with dark hair, sunken eyes, and a big, large smile with an uneven beard and yellow teeth. And he stands in front of you, and he's like, looks like we get to play a game today. Who wants to play first?
Ben, not being able to resist himself, tells the ugly man, I think you like playing with yourself.
And he, like, dies laughing. And he's like, who doesn't? Who doesn't like to play with themselves? I would play with myself right now. Do you want to watch?
Is he... Can I roll awareness to see if he's, like, really having his attention on Ben? And there's enough noise that I could maybe try to do the strength check?
His attention is all on Ben. I mean, he's not particularly looking at you.
All right, I'm going to try to do a strength roll.
Okay. So, let me just look at one thing. So you rolled 6? Or are you rolling 6? Oh, okay, because you have... All right. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you are able, as you do the same thing Peter did from behind your back, and you pull the chain, and you hear something click. So you're not sure exactly what, but you have a lot more freedom in your arms now. That's for sure. You think you could at least pull them around to the front of your waist.
If Ben heard it, he's going to continue to distract the man. Think what he's going to say.
Okay, why don't you try Insight?
One moment.
I try to... Oh.
Okay. So he's like, wait. We've got on the wrong foot. I'm going to tell you what the game is. The game is you tell me everything you know about House Hilwood. And in return, I don't mutilate your bodies. So that seems like a fairly good deal, if you ask me. So let's start.
I try to get Peter's attention. A nod, like with an eye shift or something else like that.
Ben will continue to talk. Well, unfortunately for you, I know the Kingswood, not the castle that the Hillwoods reside in.
Is this guy within striking distance of our feet by chance?
He's like at least a body length away, so like 4 or 5 feet. And as he's talking, the guy who is pooping comes over and he points at Black Ben. He's like, I want you to put your fists on his face and see exactly what he knows. So, obviously, Theomar can do more than what I'm about to say because, so whenever you want to do something or try to act, you can. So if you want to do that now, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to give you the rules of this intrigue.
Okay.
So you can wait, you can do it now, and just to let you know, this guy has, he doesn't have his armor on, but he's definitely got a sword on him. And you guys are unarmed and unarmored. And the guy with him has some sort of weapon with him, probably a spear.
Shit.
Ben looks at the man and goes, at least I hope you washed your hands.
Alright, so just remember, Frederick, you can tell me whenever. So, here are the rules of the intrigue. In this scene, you cannot burn destiny points, okay? The way I'm doing this intrigue, there are no frustrations, okay? And DR is not going to be used. So the questioner is going to attempt to gather this information out of you, okay? What you can do is before each of his roll, you can use persuasion to try to have him have doubts about the questioning, if you know anything, and that sort of thing. Whatever successes you achieve will go against his bonuses because he's going to torture you. And so during the torture, he gets bonuses to his roll because of that. Instead of intrigue defense, you will be using will and courage. You will roll this each round, and there will be 2 rounds. He must beat your composure, which is as normal, against your will courage to get the information out of you. If he does beat your composure at any time, you give it up. Okay? Whatever you know. Or whatever you think your character knows, So,
does this guy have a lock on him, like a key?
You do not know. It's not hanging off anywhere obvious.
Oh, shit. Okay. And is he, I'm trying to get a field of reference. Is
sure.
He right beside Ben? Is he?
He is in the. Okay, so the questioner is 4 to 5 feet away, looking down at you. You are. You're basically Theomar's field of vision would be over his left shoulder because you guys are shoulder to shoulder in a semicircle, and then the guy he's sending to punch Black Ben in the face is now walking up within, a couple feet and will be pummeling him shortly.
Okay. Out of character, Ben, you're going to have to take some hands. I'm sorry.
Won't be the first time or last time.
All right. So why don't you all roll will/courage?
Oh my god.
Wow, that's a critical failure.
Oh my god!
Well, he's going to be finding out a lot of stuff here. Okay. But you might not think your character knows all that much either, which is, I think that's valid. Okay, so the guy. So I'm going to roll. 1 moment. Let me get this character sheet up. And okay. So the guy goes up to Black Ben and grabs you by the back of the hair and just starts elbowing you in the face repeatedly. You feel your nose shatter and blood seep out and start exploding down your chin into your beard onto your shirt. After a few minutes, you lose vision and your head rolls back and hits the tree. You think if you take another strike like that, you will likely die. And so in order to preserve... What's your composure, just to make sure?
6.
Okay. In order to preserve your life, you don't think it's worth not telling him what he wants to know. So Black Ben is now obligated to tell the questioner everything he knows about the defenses of House Hilwood.
Ben, after receiving an extreme pummeling, spits out a mouthful of blood and checks for loose teeth and says, all right, I'll tell you what I know. And he does describe what he does know of the house and the small castle, that it's on top of a hill in a clearing overlooking the Kingswood. It has a well-defended wall with a spring within the walls that helps last any sort of long siege or other problem. Ben also reiterates, as I told you, I'm mostly out in the Kingswood. I don't know the defenses intricately. And then does a subtle eye shift towards Peter, trying to shift the questions away from him after receiving such a severe ass beating.
Okay, give yourself 1 injury.
Alrighty.
Okay. So now he directs his attention to Peter. And he's like, beautiful, beautiful. See, that's what I needed to know. And now you will not be hit again. I promise. No more punching, no more elbows, nothing but beauty. And then he looks at Peter and he's like, what about you, big boy? You look really strong. Would you like to be punched in the face, or would you like to tell me what I know?
Peter grins and tells him, come over here so I can whisper it to you.
Are you serious? Okay, yeah. Right. Roll deception, bluff, act. Let's do act. That sounds like an act.
Oh God!
He like starts like dancing a jig, and he's like, "You are a funny guy," and he's like, "Punch him!" And so he starts wailing on you in a very similar manner. And let me roll one more time. Yep, go ahead.
Are they, now that they've moved from Ben to Peter, are their backs because I'm thinking we're in a triangle basically on this tree,
yep.
Right?
Yep. Well, the guy who's doing the questioning hasn't quite moved. The other guy certainly has, but he is definitely paying attention to Peter now, and he's looking. He would have to look over his shoulder to see you for sure. So, as the guy's about to punch him, you can do whatever you want to do. But
I was thinking about throttling him, but I wish I didn't put my 1 in stealth. Oh wait, I didn't actually. I put it in marksman. I'm not going to do anything for a second.
So he starts beating you mercifully, just beating you down. And what is your... Okay, so you rolled an 11, so that's 3 degrees of success. So it's 9. What is your composure?
Composure is a 9.
So remember, you can spend destiny points, but you can't burn them. Okay, so he starts beating you badly, and the same kind of thing happens. You start bleeding out your ear as he's pummeling you in the side of the ear. As your eardrum breaks, you get dizzy, and you throw up all over your lap. And you, for the mercy of not being beaten anymore, you agree to tell him what you know.
Okay. Well, Peter's knowledge would be quite extensive. Composure of the guard force, layout of the castle. Peter would know it all.
Okay. So you also spill the beans. And he's just delighted. He is like, you are the best partners in a game I've ever played with. And he like trots off as you sit there bleeding and looks at Theomer, and he's like, now, you saw what happened. They gave me no option but to punch him, but you are young. You don't need to go through that. Just tell me what I need to know and you won't be harmed.
I look at him dead in the face and say, I really don't know anything about the Hillwoods. I don't know anything about the castle. I don't know anything about the defenses. I don't know about the amount of men. I'm just a hedge knight. They found me on the road, and I came with them. So all I can give is a smile. And I give him a big smile.
He says, I like your smile. He's like, but I'm going to have him punch you anyway.
I was afraid of that.
All right, so he's approaching you to punch you. So what do? Do you let him punch you?
There's a part of me that doesn't, but at the same time, 2v1.
The ugly man has a sword too. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes. The crapping guy has like a spear, but it's not even on him currently. It's like behind him on the ground somewhere.
All right. Could I try? Does he have a dagger or a ponion or anything else like that on him? Just a sword?
The questioner just has a sword.
Okay, and that's the guy who's going to come up and pummel me?
He has nothing on him. He has a spear laying in the ground a few feet away.
Okay. Fun. I am going to take the beating.
Okay. You take the beating. Let's see. Stop doing that. So...
Oh, fun.
So you get beat like everybody else. He enjoys kicking you, it seems, because his hands are probably getting sore at this point. And he kicks you in the stomach over and over and over again, probably breaking ribs and whatnot. And whatever you do know, which might be minimal, you do tell him. And just so you guys know, you all take an injury for this. So. And the guy, you can describe what you know to him.
I guess guard composition in a sense, because I've been with Peter for a while, and I guess me and him probably have talked about it. I probably had been wondering at one point in time. Not so much on the defenses.
Okay. He seems to be very pleased with himself. He's like, oh, you guys are so nice. And I promised I wouldn't punch you anymore, and that's true, but I have to tell you, this game is not over. Sometimes I just get a little overeager. And he walks over to Black Ben and draws his sword.
Ben, through his bloody haze in his eyes says, "Now let's not do anything rash here."
He's like, I just want to let you go. Don't you want to be free?
Nothing's free. And I would like to keep all my parts in the process.
He's like, Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
gonna try to disarm him.
Okay. So, you can pick agility or athletics. I would even let you do like quickness or strength. And you're going to take a -4 to your roll due to the chains that are still going to get in your way. And then he's going to have a opposed roll to that.
Okay.
And he is rolling fighting longsword, so just so you know.
If I see Theomar make a move, is there anything I can do if he's close enough that I step forward to assist him?
You
either
can
kick.
You can give an assist, so either agility assist or athletics assist. So that would be a plus, whatever, half of whatever those are, right?
What penalty am I going to do that at?
You're not going to have a penalty.
Alrighty.
It's just an assist, so. So you roll. No. You're not rolling. You're giving an assist, so you're giving plus whatever
to
his
whatever.
roll. Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be at a total of -2 then.
All right, guys. Let's see if I roll good. Let's hope. Oh, and that's the one I'm gonna use my Blood of Andal on and add +2 to that roll.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm gonna roll his.
Oh my fucking lord!
Yeah, this happens to be a named character if you hadn't figured it out. Anyway.
I figured I knew who it was.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother spending destiny points because there's no affecting that.
So you grab his wrist and he's like very, very surprised and kind of falls back, but at the last moment, like leans into you with his shoulder and kind of pops you off away from him, and he keeps a hold of his sword. And you are still tangled up in the chains. You are not free. Your hands are free, but they are where you can reach out to get him. But at the same time, you are still attached to the main chain around the tree. So you're actually not free. And he looks at you and he's like, well, you have spunk. And immediately he brings his sword around and goes straight at the front of your knee. Okay. So we're going to do a combat roll.
Is the Smiling Knight well known yet?
No. You could do a knowledge roll to figure it out, but okay, what's your combat defense?
That's
without anything, right? So
plus athletics plus awareness.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be 4 degrees of success, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's more than 15. So yes. So what is your health?
That's a 9.
A 9. So yep. Yeah. Let me just look at something real quick. Okay. So yep. So 20. Okay. So basically he comes down and the blade cuts you on the inside of your leg, cutting basically your kneecap out of your knee, and you see it kind of just fold over in front of onto your shin. So I'm going to tell you, obviously the blood is pumping out. You can either take a wound or die.
I will take a wound.
Okay. So you take a wound and you crash to the ground, and now you gain the... One second, sorry. You gain the crippled flaw.
Nice. Let me add that.
And you basically crash to the ground, holding your legs, screaming in agony, and he's just like dancing in joy. And he immediately turns to Black Ben, and without even a word, just swings around the back of him and chops off your right hand. And so you can go ahead and tell me how you react.
Let's see here. Don't suppose I can try a full dodge on that.
Well, and if at any point during his capering and slicing there he gets close enough, Peter will try and kick his feet out from under him.
Okay, I'll let you do a full dodge at a -10 because of how your situation, how you're locked up and that sort of thing. And I'll give you can get a +2 from Peter for trying to kick at him.
All right, 4D plus 8.
-10.
-8 with the assist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, -8. I think so. +8. Yep.
Wah, wah. I'm going to look into burning a destiny point to not lose the hand. Give me 1 sec here. If that's even possible.
I did say you cannot burn a destiny point in this scene.
Oh, no.
So basically, the sword comes and it catches your basically your 4 fingers and takes those off above the top knuckle. So essentially, you've lost your fingers.
I bring my hand in and clench it into what resembles a fist to try and stem the blood flow, and look up at him and go, well, how am I supposed to tickle you now? Through gritted teeth.
Okay, you take a wound.
Yep.
And he looks at Peter and he's like, oh boy, you have the best for last. The best for last. He is just
bastard.
He's like laughing and he's like, oh, you are going to love this. You're going to love it. And he walks over very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. And he waves for the guy, and the guy basically comes around behind the tree and grabs you by the eye sockets and pulls you back, your head back, and essentially immobilizes you. And yeah, he takes his sword, and you see him, and the sword is like raised right in front of your eyes, but pointed downward, and he just crams it straight into the ground. But what's in between the ground and the sword is your genitalia. And so with one slice, you are cut. And you don't know exactly what happened, except you have unbelievable pain. Unbelievable pain. And all you know is you feel the blood just like wash over your pants and on the ground, and your eyes flicker, and you're barely bleeding to like holding on to consciousness. And he pulls it out, and with a smile, and he's like, I'll see you boys later. And he starts to walk off back towards the pavilion.
All right, I'm gonna do a healing check on diagnosis on Peter. I'm gonna try to crawl over to you, man. I immediately forget my pain in my knee, and after witnessing that nonsense,
yeah, let Peter respond. See,
Peter is just sort of semi-shocky after that. Doesn't really have much of a response, just rapid breathing.
Okay. So Theomer tries to crawl over Black Ben to get to him, but as he does, he passes out, and Peter passes out before he even gets there, and Black Ben is probably the last person awake, and then finally he too passes out from pain. And you're not sure how long, how many hours have passed. It was in the day when this happened, and now it is at night. You don't know if it's been days or hours. But all of a sudden, you feel the cool rush of water over you, like if someone is dousing you with water. And Peter recognizes him, and you don't even know if you can stand up or move, but you notice this man used to be one of your guards that had been taken away and had been serving you scraps. And he bends down and he shakes you and looks at the blood on the ground and basically all your injuries, and looks shocked and appalled, and he has tears in his eyes, but he produces a key. And he's like, I don't know if you can get out of here, flee, but this is all I can do to help. And he starts to unchain you. And you notice behind him is an assortment of weapons that he has brought with him. There is a spear, a hunting bow with arrows, and a longsword. He apologizes for not bringing more, but he is worried that he would get caught.
Ben thanks him and says, I'd shake your hand, but, well, and holds up his stumpies. Grits through the pain.
Peter claps him on the shoulder, tells him he's a good man.
He helps get Peter up off the ground with quite some difficulty because Peter's a big guy, obviously. And he just looks and he's like, I will kill that son of a bitch. He's like, I'll give you a head start and then I'll make sure that they rue the day they try to follow.
Are there any horses available?
He's like, there are horses, but I don't think I can get to them. They don't let us new guys that they just forced into actual servitude get to them. He's like, they're on the backside of the pavilion.
Ben thanks him and goes for the bow once freed.
Okay, you pick up the bow and you realize that you cannot pull the string because you have no fingers on your right hand. Right, that's what crippled arm does. You can't use two-handed weapons.
Well then.
I'm completely terrible with bows. I'm going to say that right now.
Likewise.
Well, if we ever get out of here, maybe I'll be able to use a crossbow.
I'm gonna
Out of character, I'm guessing.
Yep. Okay.
I was guessing Theomar may be a sword guy.
I am not. I'll take the spear for using as a walking stick too. After my kneecap injury right there. No more linebacking for me.
How close to Hilwood Castle were we when we got captured?
You were fairly close. You were within a couple miles, you think.
Is this terrain at all familiar with Black Ben? Is this somewhere he's been before where he could successfully navigate off the main road there?
So I do have that. So let's see. Okay. So let me ask you this question first. Are you going to move away from the camp, first off?
Yes, I don't think we, in our current state, me personally, Ben looks to Peter and Theomar, I don't think we're in any condition to become horse thieves.
Me either. And I don't think we're going to be master runners as well.
Okay.
Take it slow. Try to be, try to hide and try to get away.
So you lumber away and into the woods, and it is extremely dark. And you don't move too far before you think you're at least safe for the time being. Now, apologies for the daytime. Well, that's not even the right one. Sorry. Oh, shit. There we go. Okay. So you head into the woods. And, Black Ben, why don't you roll survival orientation? minus.
All
So remember,
wound and an injury.
yeah.
Yep.
So you not -1 and keep 1 less dice.
Let's see if this does it successfully automatically.
It did, right?
Yes, because it added -1.
But so you were
Because I have 40 in survival, so I
Yep.
rolled 4, kept 1, and it was a 15 roll minus the 1 for the injury, so 14 is right.
okay, perfect. So you actually you sit down, you all kind of take a rest, and it's bad. You all kind of look around, but Black Ben, you do seem to know where you are. You think you are at the edge of House Hilwood's domain, someplace that you have caught poachers before. The land is pretty rough, and there's not a straight trail here for some time, but you generally have the gist of which way to go.
Ben looks to Tiamar and Peter and says, well, the good news, I think I know where we are. The bad news, it is going to be hard going, especially for Tiamar with that knee injury. We can try and find a easier route, but expediency might be a better option.
Yeah, to get to an actual trail, other than directly towards Hillwood, would be significantly out of your way.
Could I know a little bit about survival, so I'm gonna think I can do this. Could one of you double back, whoever is like a little bit better at this, and try to throw them off, double back, and then come back?
Well, didn't the guy that freed us say he was going to go cause a distraction, giving us some time?
Yeah, he said he would definitely cause. Well, he didn't necessarily say cause. He's going to give you as much time as possible. If that means he's going to try to kill somebody, he didn't say. But
I'd say we try to at least throw them off. Maybe even head for a river. They even have dogs.
You did not hear any barking ever from when you were captured to when you were at the pavilion, so you don't think they have dogs.
Okay.
I don't know how well these people know the Kingswood, Ben says, but we've been bought time by our comrade. I suggest we don't dally and get going.
All right. And I asked before we start heading off, is it north? Is Hilwood north of here or south?
It should be west.
Ben points up his now wrapped fingerless hand and points, quote unquote, and goes, well, it's that way.
Okay. I'm going to try to roll a survival and try to see if I can see up in the night sky the ice dragon. The North Star, AK. And try to keep my bearings with that just in case if we get turned around or I get lost or anything else like that.
Okay.
Yeah, if Tiamar can get some sort of celestial bearing, then Peter's going to suggest that Ben, who's obviously the most mobile of the three now, make his way to Hilwood as fast as he can. Alert them that trouble is on the way. Then he can get some guards and horses, and we'll keep trying to head that way as best we can.
Well, so Tiamar is he's not able to get a good bearing like Ben is. However, with the spear, Tiamar is actually walking okay so long as he's not doing it in any kind of rushed manner. If he would run, you suspect he would have issues. And even though you're cut right now, you seem to be moving at a decent pace. Maybe it's from shock that you're still able to go. You haven't actually looked down there and seen what the damage is. You think that the bleeding has slowed, but right now everybody's moving at an okay pace. If you were to run, maybe not.
Ben mentions that while it might be prudent to send him on ahead, he didn't want to leave them behind, and offers some attempt at levity to Peter and says, well, you don't have that giant thing between your legs slowing you down anymore, so you might be able to keep up. And Ben smiles.
I've never had that problem.
So you all have a good laugh about it.
Try to up our spirits.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you head out and you walk through the night, and you think that from the phase of the moon and where it is in the sky, you're pretty sure that it's getting close to morning time. So you probably were not. You probably woke up early morning from being passed out. And as the sun rises, you come across what Ben vaguely remembered, and that is a large cliff. The cliff face, as you're on top of the cliff and you come towards it, and Ben remembers you can go around. It will take several hours to do so. Probably 6 hours, and in your state, maybe longer. He remembers when he came this way before, he was able to scale the cliff face, both up and down. There's plenty of handholds. It is not all that difficult, but in your current state, it might cause issues. So you can either choose to go around, or you can choose to try to climb down. There is Ben is aware of where the best area is to climb down as far as he remembers. So that's not a problem. But it's up to what you guys want to do.
Are there trees like this against this cliff like this, or is it just completely barren?
There's trees like that. You could use them to aid your ascent or descent, I should say.
Ben looks at the cliff, remembering that it took some finesse to get up and down it, and looks to the other two and says, while there are handholds along the cliff face, and then stops and laughs at the irony of the word, I don't know how good the three of us will make it. One has a bum leg. I'm missing 4 or so fingers, and I'm not sure how well Peter, and then laughs at his name, would do.
Oh, God.
We can go around, and reiterates that it would take 6 hours, and that will be the safest course of action. But it will also give the bandits that kidnapped them time.
I think 6 hours is something that they're going to be on horse, so they're going to catch up. I think we need the 6 hours.
I don't know. How thick is it, the Kingswood, for impeding horse travel? Is it faster on foot or on horse where we are?
There are places that they could use that it would be faster on horse. Now, they're not going to be able to go at a full-on gallop, but they're going to be able to go at a trot, which is going to be faster than you, especially in your condition. Now, it might not be the most direct, but they could beat you to Hilwood.
I say we take the risk.
I think so, too. Are we able to burn DP now if necessary?
You could burn DP.
All right. Well, I suppose I can try and get down there. I've been here the most, maybe find the safest path, and you guys can attempt to follow.
Are there any vines or anything remotely?
Yeah, there's like Frederick was saying, there are trees laying against what you see is pretty much what it is. There are trees laying against the cliff face. it's not a hard climb. If you guys were whole, you probably would be able to do it no problem. But I mean, it is tricky in your current situation, obviously. I mean, none of you are feeling so hot.
I'm down for climbing down a tree or anything else like that if necessary. I'm even willing to do the cliff climb. I don't want to get hanged or cut or see that fucking face again.
Then we try it.
Okay. So, did you want to burn a DP, Mike?
I'm going to start with
trying it.
I'm trying it and then see if I need to.
Okay.
I don't know if it might be a stretch with keen senses if I'm going to be able to really get a good, really kind of get a good path down there and find good handholds and lips to make my way down.
Okay. So to scale down, you agility, balance, or athletics climb.
I will roll agility.
And yeah, it should automatically do it.
Oh, fuck.
6.
Bum bum. Time to burn a DP.
Yeah, so you are climbing down and you instinctively go to grab with your right hand, but you don't have a right hand to grab with. So you start to slip and fall, and you fall several feet. But at the last minute, you reach up with your left hand and grab another handhold, and you're able to catch yourself before you fall with a slight jar to your body. And at that point, you're able to scramble down unharmed. So take away a DP. And also, I wasn't... So who took what weapons, by the way?
I took the spear.
Okay.
I guess Peter has the bow.
I'll take the sword.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you get down. I will let you do an awareness. Basically survival or awareness, anything like that, to find a better path for them or the correct path they should take, and we'll give them some bonuses.
You said awareness, notice, or what was the other one?
So you could do, let's see, you could do probably survival, and I would even do track is okay.
They're both 4 with 1 bonus, so okay. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yep. Okay, so you, so that would be 2. So what I'll do is I'll give a +2 to them for this. So you find generally the best path to come down that you think, and you think it was probably the one you came down, and if you had 2 hands, it would have been easier.
And that should be 15, by the way. It didn't subtract 1d for some reason.
That's fine. 2 is fine. So you guys get a +2 to your agility rolls. Or athletic roll, whichever's better.
All right.
Peter, do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go ahead and give it a shot.
All right, I'm going to hold your hand while you're going down. Try to give you some stability.
So that's... What's your agility, Peter?
Peter's agility is a 4.
Okay, so it did do that. So... And you give yourself you didn't even give yourself a +2. So yeah, so you made it. So you follow Ben's instructions and you're able to get to the bottom without slipping or falling. Theomar.
All right, I'm going to climb down with athletics. I don't have climb, sadly. I kind of wish I did now. But I do have strength. So when a boulder comes, boys, I got this. I'm just going to do... Wow.
But you should have 8 instead of a 7. Right?
Yes.
Right.
No, I should have 9.
Right, yes, 9. So actually, Theomar is climbing down, and he slips, but is able to regain his footing on a foothold, and basically kind of tumbles down and kind of lands in a thicket, but doesn't hit hard enough to do anything besides knock the wind out of him for a couple minutes. And so he makes it down successfully.
Ben goes over and offers his left hand and says, "That was graceful. Well done."
I take the hand and I say, "You showed me the right way." Give
He
him
laughs.
a wink.
So you guys leave the cliff behind, and Big Ben is hopeful that now it'll be easier on your path. You walk away from the cliff, and the jungle's getting sparser, or jungle. The woods are getting sparser and sparser as you walk. But can everybody roll a awareness notice for me?
Yep.
Let me see if this does the correct minus 1d here.
Actually, that should have been with a bonus die. You want me to re-roll that or just roll d6?
Just roll d6. It's fine.
Oh, fuck.
So
the good news is mine is a 17.
Okay, so yours is a 17, and then Peter, what's your awareness normally? What's your 4? So it did take yours away. And then Theomar, what's your awareness?
4.
4, and the plus. So why is yours a 17, Mike?
For my awareness, it should have been. Oh no, it did it right. Okay, it should have been 5d6 keep 4. I don't know why. I don't know when I hover over it. I'm not sure why it showed that way.
Yeah. Okay. So 19 is the highest. So bear with me here.
16. One more higher than Peter. Oh, shit.
So you keep going, and you don't think of anything, and you kind of stop in a clearing for a second, and before you know it, you see these 2 huge freaking cats jump out of the trees around you. And they are, without a doubt, shadow cats.
And as you're setting this up, just for clarification, my fingers are all the way gone, or just to the first or second knuckle?
First knuckle. You cannot use a bow, basically, right? So essentially, so since they beat you in the, I'll let you draw your weapons for free. I don't really care about the interact action for that, so you have your weapons drawn. But they're going to go first, and then we're going to roll initiative for the actual. Let's just roll initiative. So, okay. So everybody go ahead and roll quickness agility. Luckily, none of you have armor, so you don't have to worry about that, right?
Yeah, totally.
All right. So let's see here. Black Ben. 9.
Love being last.
And then where are you, Peter? 17. Not quite good enough. And then it's 6. Okay. So this shadow cat that went 21 jumps out of the tree, and so that's his first Lester action, and his second is to attack. And he actually, let's see, as he comes down, the shadow cat takes you kind of by surprise, and he lashes out. He tries to bite you. He tries to jump up on top of you and bite you in the neck. Oops. And what's your combat defense?
Combat defense is...
Without all that armor. So if you want to delete your armor so it gets rid of all the arm penalty and stuff.
Quick.
No shield.
Two-way, boys.
So is it 12?
It is 11.
11. Okay. So, all right. So the thing, jumps out and you move just in the nick of time and it bites down on your shoulder and you take 4 damage.
Oh, fun.
What is your defense, or your health, sorry? Total?
9.
9
Oh,
total?
no, yeah, 9 total.
Okay. So the next thing jumps out and goes after Peter, and generally does the same thing, tries to bite him. And let's see here. I need to stop doing that.
Oh, wow.
What's your combat defense, Peter?
12.
12. So it goes to bite you, and you're able to kind of shrug it aside and push it away. And so it misses. And go ahead, Peter.
Alright.
So remember, you can aim. When you shoot, it doesn't matter where you are. You can shoot at point blank range.
Can he delay his action until mine?
He sure can. Yep.
The reason I was going to say that out of combat is Black Ben, realizing he's worthless with a sword, would probably, as he jumped down, offer the sword to Peter. So I don't know if he can delay until my action, and then I use a lesser to
He can
give weapon to him.
Yeah, you would both have to take a lesser action to swap. But
actually probably gives us a better chance. So, okay.
Okay, so Peter delays, and so we'll just... So essentially, okay, so what does Black Ben do?
Black Ben, realizing that he is no good with a sword, especially in his offhand, turns it and offers the pommel to Peter while dodging the shadow cat strikes and says, "This belongs in your hands." So first action, lesser action, give weapon, and then second lesser action, assist Peter.
Okay. And so you're fighting as what?
Right now it's going to be 3D keep 2.
So, okay, so you get +1 to your roll, Peter. Your fighting roll. So now Peter is up.
All right. Well, Peter has used one lesser to take the sword, so now next lesser to attack the shadow cat.
Okay. So just roll your fighting longsword if you have that, but long blades.
Do not. We'll just go with fighting.
Okay, sounds good. So 11. And I don't think...
And a +1, so 12.
Yep, 12. Okay. Let's see. That might actually... So you swing and the Shadow Cat deftly dodges aside just at the last moment. Okay, so you miss. Damar.
All right, I'm going to.
Don't forget to use your destiny points, guys, if you want to. I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm just reminding you that they're there.
I'm going to try to strike the Shadow Cat with the spear right in front of me.
Okay.
And then probably trying to see if there's like a...
You can aim, right? Which will give you an extra bonus die. You are cutting out.
Oh, I'm reading right now real quick. I'm going to try to post the spear into him. So I'm just going to do a standard attack, but with an aim. So
okay, that's fine. So an extra bonus die?
Yes. Let me get the roll. And I'm going to use Blood and Andals because that was fighting for me. So I'm going to re-roll the 1.
Okay. So that's a 12.
Yes.
So you stab at the Shadow Cat, and it evades the attack.
Shite.
So, after that happens, the Shadow Cat is going to attack you back. So it ducks and kind of paws at your leg with its claw. Alright, so... And your defense was what?
11.
11. So it scrapes the back of your leg and carves into your calf, and you feel like particularly unstable because of obviously your previous wound. So essentially it hit you for 5 damage, which would put you at 0. So you can either take an injury or a wound to keep standing.
Take an injury.
Alright, what's your endurance?
That is 3.
So you take 2. So you're at 3. Now, you have 2 injuries and 1 wound, correct?
Yes.
From your 9 endurance, I would say that you have a 3, or your 9 health, you have 3 endurance. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you're full. So in this campaign, since it's so harsh, you basically have to fill up with wounds before you die. So you can take no more injuries, okay?
Right.
But you can take wounds still, okay? All right.
Alrighty.
The Shadow Cat keeps attacking Peter. Trying to get through this quick because combat is, to me, the least interesting part. But all right, let's go. So it lashes out, but Peter still uses his longsword to keep it at bay and is able to keep himself from getting hit. Okay, Peter.
Peter, out of combat. Do you want to delay again? Blackben's kind of useless, but he's going to try something here to assist you.
Sure.
Peter's going to do for first lesser, Ben, for the first lesser assist, and then for his second lesser, he's going to try to distract on him. I'm sure his passive will result. I don't know if that's even something possible. It's basically cunning test against the passive will result of the enemy. If I do it, they lose awareness from their combat defense until the end of the next turn.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. You can do jazz hands at him or something.
Ben looks at him and gives him a half jazz hands and says
Whoops.
Pussy really loudly.
Sorry. It's passive will, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mean to roll that, sorry, but...
Let me see what I roll and...
Yep, that would fail. His passive will is 8. Not what I rolled, it just is 8, but...
Wouldn't it be 9 or 6? Or am I getting that wrong?
It's times 4, right? So 2 times 4. 8.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, in this case, is it too late to spend a destiny point for a bonus dice, or should I call that beforehand?
No, you can do it. So just roll 1d6. I mean, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You at least get a 1, right? So that's fine. Yep.
Yep, I did get a 1.
Okay, so he loses his, what was it? His awareness to his defense?
Yep, awareness to combat defense.
All right, let me... All right, so you make a motion towards him with really, really good half-hand maneuver, and the creature kind of startles and kind of backs up a little bit and looks kind of at you instead of Peter. So, that's really... He loses all his awareness, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, that is pretty good. Okay, so plus you get, Peter gets +1 to his roll now, if he's doing a fighting.
All right.
And
I have no DP left, by the way.
And Peter will aim.
Yep, so you get an extra bonus dice, and then +1. With all your other negatives already.
Okay. So I guess we'll just roll fighting and then roll the bonus die.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so that's 12. That actually should be 13. We'll call that 13.
All right.
So 17. So that's 2 degrees of success. What's your damage on that longsword? So that's athletics. What is it? Plus. I'm trying to do it for me. +1.
Athletics +1. Yep.
Yep. So what's your athletics, Peter?
4.
4. So he takes 8 damage. Let's see. 8 damage to these guys. So basically, you swing your sword down and carve it across the side of its flank, and it flinches and kind of backs away a little bit.
Nice.
10 damage? Where'd you get that?
Isn't his athletics +4? Or +1, excuse me. For a longsword.
His athletics +1. He said he had an athletic. It's athletics. Yeah. You're right. So yeah, because your athletics is 4 +1. That's 5 times 2. Yep. Okay. So yeah, you swing and it carves him in the side of the neck, and as it's backing up, blood just kind of starts pumping out of its neck, and it like meows kind of and backs into the darts kind of backwards, and you kind of see it like crash into the woods. Okay. DMR.
All right, I am gonna try to sidestep back, and I'm gonna say, can you guys, Peter, Black Ben, I really can't hold this anymore. Please, I need help. And I try to keep the shadow cat at bay with the spear. So I guess, in a sense, I'm gonna wait.
You could do. I'm trying to think what's a lesser action that you can do that makes sense. Because full defense is a full action.
You could do it kind of doesn't make sense, but you could do cautious attack. I mean, you still attack, but it increases your combat defense by 3 for a round. So you could give like a half-ass attack, which you'll probably miss, but it'll help you defend for the next round.
Could
I'd be
do
down
that.
for that.
You could even. I would even let you throw your spear, honestly, with a marksmanship roll.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna do a cautious attack.
You don't want to lose your weapon.
I have 1 marksman.
Oh God! Oh, that's what you brought down to 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me.
You need to move back though. Oh, no, actually, does spear has range, right? Isn't it?
No,
range?
it's fast.
Oh, it just says
That's
fast.
pikes. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is. You can throw it. I don't know if it is a different type of spear. It's like close range.
Yeah, I kind of can't throw right now.
Auto fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cautious attack is -1 dice. So basically, you roll whatever your fighting is and keep 2 less dice because you're wound, and then -2 for your injuries. So that's what it would be.
2d6 -2.
Yep. So you kind of jab at it, and you need to move back though.
I did.
On my map, you're still back here.
On my map, he's 1 left of Black Ben.
Yeah, mine
1
too.
west.
Yeah, you need to be southeast 1 square.
Right here?
Right here. That's where you were, right?
I was right here, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you have to attack from, because you have to be next to it to attack. You know what I mean?
All right.
Now you can now since you didn't move, you can do you could aim. Is cautious attack a full or greater action?
Cautious attack's a lesser attack, so he could, like, his first action could be a cautious attack, then he could move back.
Yeah, you can do that.
Be a giant dick bag and let Black Ben be the next one to be.
Yeah, you can move back now. That's true. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Black Ben, I'm sorry. I tried to save your life earlier, so you gotta help me out real quick. I'm sorry.
Okay, and it all works out in the end. Okay, all right. So the shadow cat sees the other shadow cat go down, and it like starts to kind of puts its ass in the air and its head down and looks, but then it doesn't seem to like the odds, and it takes off the way it came. So it flees.
Let me see if I can try to...
Black Ben looks to Theomar and asks, well, you all right there? Looks at where he was scratched up.
Not quite.
And obviously all your damage goes away.
The good news is we're closer to the castle.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't run into any more obstacles.
Can I try to do try to reduce this injury a little bit on me, or
you can do a healing check versus TN15. Yeah, anybody can do that at any time if they want to.
I'm not going to be able to pass that 15. I'm just going to look at it and get a diagnosis, but rather see if it's starting to mortify or anything else like that. Am I getting a rife smell of cheese or anything else like that?
On your knee?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll healing.
Diagnosis. Okay.
Yeah, you look down at your knee and you just see your kneecap flopping there. It just looks awful. That's all you really know.
All right. Let's try to get home real fast, please.
Black Ben looks at the group and looks at your knee and says, I'm no maester, but we need to get back to Hillwood fast as possible.
I'm in total agreement, Black Ben. I say with a stutter.
Peter grunts. Don't think it's going to be fast. Tries to give Theomar a shoulder to lean on.
All right.
All
I
right.
take that shoulder gladly. Try to walk.
All right. So 3 escapees head towards House Hilwood, and finally you come onto a trailhead. And you start following that trail, and it gets wider and wider and wider. And obviously, even to somebody who doesn't know the area real well, that speaks to closer to civilization and closer to House Hilwood. So,
That's
1 second.
As they walk, Ben is going to look at the bow. Is there any way to hold it with his right hand as opposed to using the drawstring, pulling it back, or is there just no feasible way?
There is no feasible way to use it.
Gotcha.
Now, if you wanted to burn a destiny point, or if somebody else wanted to burn a destiny point, I would allow it for, the rest of the session with some negative modifiers. So that's up to you guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Or you could wait until it would be necessary.
I'm in total agreement with that.
What do you think, Black Ben?
Black Ben is not going to spend any since he has none.
Right, yeah.
Nor should
I
they
know
be
that.
used, and continue down the trail.
Okay. So you head down the trail, and it turns into a small road, and you all pretty much know where this is. You are just a couple miles out from Hilwood now, and you notice, amazingly enough, you see a man on the road. Basically, he is heading east, and this is the road that heads into the Stormlands. So, very interestingly, he has a cart with 2 mules pulling it, and 2 that are tied to the back of the cart, and he's heading in the opposite way that you're going. He looks from the driver's seat of his cart, and there's also a person next to him. It looks like maybe he's a guard, and they look at you with suspicion. He doesn't look like he's going to stop.
Ben lifts his good hand into the air and calls for them to halt. Says that they've been attacked by bandits
Beware,
from the
bandits
east.
ahead.
From the east in the direction they're going.
He
And
looks.
ask for his kindness.
He pulls up the horses or the mules and looks at you very irritatedly, and he's like, "Get it! Step aside! Step aside! Step aside! I've got business to attend to. Out of my way, pleb."
Ben looks to Peter and Theomar and puts on what he raises his right nub of a hand and goes, we're with House Hilwood. If you'd be so kind to assist us, you'll be well compensated by our lord when we arrive, and warn them of the danger in the Kingswood.
Okay, so you guys can intrigue this dude. Basically, like before, there's no DR. He is not going to intrigue you back or anything like that. You have 2 rounds to defeat his intrigue defense and his composure. And you each can use whatever methods you want. So what are you actually looking for, Mike? Are you looking for him to help you in some way?
I'm looking for him in exchange for being compensated by our Lord for being put off track to use the cart to take us back to Hilwood so we can warn our Lord of the bandits.
I think your role is a convince roll. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and fire that off and see what we can do.
It's going to be poor.
Very poor.
Where the hell is my chat?
Hiding, like we should be.
Like, I literally did not see it.
I rolled a 3.
You did.
Oh, okay, I must have hit like a hide button or something. Well, he just laughs at you and he's like, "You might be the bandits. You look like an unsavory lot."
Peter.
And so, whoever wants to go next.
incredulously, just looks at him and goes, "If we were bandits, we just would have shot you." And then stops.
I would like to do an awareness check, looking around, trying to see or trying to hear anything.
Sure, go ahead. Awareness knows. So,
Jiminy Christmas.
well, you're screwed, right? You have a lot of problems. Yeah. I mean, that's -2 and one less die. Anyway, you look around and you don't see anything, and you're pretty sure you got a good view of the area. You don't hear anything other than what's right in front of you, so it seems like there's nothing else around.
I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed.
And you guys can do a persuasion or deception on him as you want.
I'm really pull status. Crap. I look at him and I say, I'm gonna try to do a convince as well. I am Sir Theomore the Traveler, and this is Python and Black Ben here. We really need some help, and there are indeed bandits here. Can't see my leg. We've been traveling for a couple hours now. Please, any type of assistance, Mother have mercy.
Roll it.
Oh my God.
He looks at you and he's like, "You're probably defeated by the local authorities, you thugs." And I just realized I misspelled Peter's name, but good. Rob was probably like, "Okay. All right, Peter from Dune."
Well, convinced doesn't seem to be working, so Peter's going to take the approach that if you don't aid us, then you will never do business on Hilwood lands again.
I think that's intimidate.
And here goes nothing.
So you try to intimidate him, and he looks at you, and he's like, "I don't even think you're going to make it down the road to tell anyone. Looks like you're all about to collapse, you bandits." So
on that note, Peter feigns weakness, semi-collapse, and tries to get himself as close as he can to the guard without raising suspicion.
So you do that, and the guard looks at you, and he's like, "Should we help them?" And the merchant's like, "No." He's like, "Let's go." So you have another turn of persuasions of deceptions as you want.
I'm going to try a bargain. Just looking in the book real quick. I guess swords are fairly expensive. We could try and offer a sword in exchange for. You said he had a couple of oxen or mule on the back. Mules.
He's got 4 mules total.
Offer in exchange a mule for a sword.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and. I mean, it's still going to be the same roll, persuasion.
I'd rather take wine than a fucking mule right now.
Hey, there's your one. Wow. As the sword breaks in half.
Yeah, he just looks at it and he's like, that looks like the shittiest sword I've ever seen. He's like, these mules are majestic.
They smell like shit, just like your manners.
Quick, I think we're not gonna get really that far with him. He's already. I'm gonna try to, in a sense, like I'm completely defeated right now. Man won't take our sword. Man won't help us. Right now, I kind of want to pray to the mother, to be honest. I'm gonna start.
If you only had Pius.
If only. And I'm just talk to myself, Mother have mercy, please. I think he would have lost faith right now on this whole entire situation.
Ben's.
Go ahead.
Black Ben's going to burn the image of this merchant in his face. He doubts he'll ever see him again, but he's not going to remember this slight. And he's going to look to Peter and he's going to look to TMR and go, some people care more about coin than helping one another. We're not getting anywhere with him. We might as well head back to Hilwood.
I grimace.
So you guys are not going to try to persuade him any further?
It's Theomore wouldn't. He feels completely defeated at this point.
Peter, what are you going to do? You're close to the wagon cart. And the guy looks very, very happy with himself that he's leaving you guys in a bind.
Watch for a man with yellow teeth. Ears all night.
Yeah, this is the world of ice and fire. Peter has to warn his liege.
What would you do? What would Peter do? What's more important? Some merchant or Lady Talia, who is out and God knows where, getting God knows what done to her?
Peter is going to aim and attack the guard.
So Peter raises up with his long sword and swings it, and the guard is totally taken off guard, and the sword just clips him in the side of the neck, and blood just sprays everywhere, and 5 or 6 spurts, and he falls like a rock out of the wagon box onto the ground, and the merchant jumps up in the air, throws his hands up, and he's like, "I knew you were bandits, I knew it!" He's like, "Take my things, you damn bastards! Just leave me be!"
Hardly.
Hardly? You're gonna kill me? I'm just a simple merchant from King's Landing.
No, you're a greedy bitch who turned his back on us when we needed help.
You're bandits! You're bandits! See what you did? You're bandits!
Peter kills him, or attempts to.
Okay, so Peter just runs him through, and he screams out, and he looks at you in the face, and in his last moments spits in your mouth, or not mouth, but in your face as he slides off your sword, dead as a doornail.
I was about to say no, as he said.
So you scream out no, but as he does it, it's already done. He kills him.
Ben looks at him grimly and looks to Peter and goes, "Well, we don't have to worry about you raping him."
Oh my god.
And goes to and offers a hand to CMR to get him into the cart.
Oh shit!
grabs the wheels to lead him back to the castle, laughing to himself.
Peter wipes the sword on the merchant and then steps on him as he gets in the cart.
Ben looks at him and laughs and goes, "Fuck, you might as well rob him."
Yeah, are
Take
you
his
gonna?
purse.
Yeah, he's got a sizable purse. He has like probably 12 gold on him, and in the back of the cart there's a bunch of crates. You don't know what's in them, but yeah.
As we turn the cart and go back past him, Peter says, "Told you there were fucking bandits," and spits at him.
And laughs. Despite the horrible last 24 hours, he can't help but laugh.
I feel completely horrible for this whole entire situation. Well, Theomore does. And he gets in the cart grudgingly, in a sense. And you can't understand it.
Like, out of character, this is why I love running games like this, is because the shit that happens that you do not expect to happen. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Alright, so, let's look at here. Give me 1 second, look at my notes. Alright, so, you head down with the cart and the wagon, and everything's going great for a while, and all of a sudden, Theomar, who's in the back of the cart, looks out, and he sees in the distance, like, dirt being kicked up out of the ground as you're being pursued, it appears.
How many more miles do we have?
You're about a mile away.
There's horses on the horizon. Peter. Ben. I don't know.
How many are on our trail?
Awareness. I'm gonna roll awareness.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll give you the...
Notice? Or...
Yeah. Notice. So, Theomir looks and he sees at least 24 riders on your trail. Can't tell much details, but they're coming and they're coming fast.
24 riders, Ben and Peter. I don't know if I can stand on this leg.
But your cart is moving pretty decent, so, and you have a good head start, so you can either you could stop, you could
load off the cart.
Yeah, I'm gonna help kick the cart, all the stuff off the cart.
Okay, so you kick all the barrel or all the crates out of the cart and onto the road as you go. Yep. Okay, you easily do that.
Ben looks back and says, "These are mules. We can disconnect the cart and try and outrun them. We are close."
Why don't we try to flip the cart or something? I don't know. Give them something so that they're in the way or something. That might be an idea.
The road is not very big. If you disconnect the cart, it would block. I mean, it wouldn't block the entirety of the road, but it would make them have to go off the trail to go around.
Is this going uphill or downhill?
You're pretty much flat.
Ah, crap.
I would say disconnect the cart, ride the mules.
Yep.
Like you said, kick the wares off. 12 gold dragons. That'll get us. That'll buy us booze to drown our sorrows.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep. It's a sizable purse the guy had. So yeah. So let's do animal handling drive to disconnect the cart while you're moving. Whoever wants to do it, one person gets to do it, and some person can assist. That's fine. We don't have to. We can. If somebody has better than whatever your 3 dice, then they can do it.
Yeah, same here. 3 dice. So
I have 2 dice with the injury, the wound.
Yeah.
So it's plus so it'd be 7. So you are able to get it disconnected, but it slows you down significantly to do so. Okay, and they gain on you.
Cut
So
the
now,
rope.
now what we're going to do is we're going to do opposed ride animal handling checks. Because of what you put in the road, you're going to get a bonus of 3. If you were to pass that roll, you would get a bonus of 4. Here's how it works. The most successes, just successes, versus a TN9 in 2 rounds wins. Okay, so essentially, you are all going to roll once, and then I'm going to roll 3 times, and so each round. So after that, we're going to tally the successes and figure out who wins. Okay. So
Alright.
What
everybody,
was the bonus we got?
you get +3 to your rolls for the first round as they're going through all the crap. That's a good roll.
3 6s.
Plus
Where was
3?
that?
Versus a TN9, that's 2 successes.
And you want a +3 to the first roll, correct?
It'll be +2 because of our injuries.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoever has injuries.
Oh,
Yeah.
+1. Got it.
So that's 1 success. And 1 success. Okay. Alright, so you guys currently have 4 successes. I'm going to roll.
Thank God. Oh, thank the mother.
Thank the mother. This is thank the father.
I'm gonna thank the mother for
1,
she is merciful.
2, 3. 9. 1 success. 15. 2 successes. And 10. 1 success. You guys are tied.
Oh boy.
Okay, so now you lose your bonuses because they clear the cart and they clear the cargo. And so they're getting right on your tail, but you're on these freaking mules and they're slow as shit. And you have the cart, well, you don't have the cart, but you have the bench as well. And so I guess you wouldn't. So you're actually on the mules. So you're on the mules, and every time you move, God, Peter's in agonizing pain. And we're close. So let's see the.
And
see
Peter
what you roll.
starts yelling at the top of his lungs, 2 arms.
Well, you still can outrun them.
Now
I
he's trying
thought
to do it like the castle.
Oh yeah, okay. And don't forget, some of you have destiny points left.
yes.
Ew.
All right. I'm gonna burn a destiny point.
Okay. So if you burn a destiny point, I will give you an automatic 2 successes.
All right.
Okay.
Down to 3.
All right, and let's see.
But if you want that, you have to do it before you roll.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, that's fine for you. I'm for Peter. Yeah, because I didn't say what it. So Peter, you can choose to roll, or you can just choose 2 successes if you want to burn a destiny points. If you don't, that's fine.
If he just uses a destiny point.
If you use the destiny point, you get a bonus die.
Nah, we'll burn it.
All right, Black Ben, roll her up.
Sure, how you shut that
I already rolled.
Oh, sorry. So you just failed. Okay.
Yep, I failed.
So 4. Oh man, what is gonna happen? 1, 2. Was that 3?
Yep.
12, 15, 10. That doesn't look good. So 1, 2, 1. So you're tied. Okay. So we're going to do another round. So, since we're in a scene, if you've already burned a destiny point, you cannot burn another one.
All right.
You can spend a destiny point that you have not burned for an extra bonus die.
Fail.
Fail.
All right. I'm going to try. Can I use all 3 of my leftover destiny points to add 3 bonus die?
No. Hey, Peter, you should. Do you have any destiny points left, Peter?
No.
Oh, you do not. Okay. Yeah, you can.
Oh.
You can spend one at a time.
-6 -2. I'm hoping we get a good roll, boys.
One success.
Woohoo! 1 success.
All right. So that's 2 successes versus 1 success.
You also can spend a DP if you haven't to negate one of theirs.
You can do that. You can spend a DP to negate one of their die. DP. No. You mean negate one of their DP, right?
I thought you can spend one to get rid of their highest dice. I'm trying to remember back.
I believe you can spend a DP to negate a DP spent. It's like page 45, something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it real quick.
We can look since it's kind of important. All right. Where's that little stupid chart?
Bestow -1d on opponent.
Could
for
do that.
Spending.
You
Yep.
could do that. And that would be 1 and 1 again. If you want to do that, you can do it to one opponent. You can spend it.
I'll do it to the first one.
Okay. So it's 1 and 1 again, so let's roll again.
I'm gonna spend my last DP on giving me an additional die roll.
Ooh, 1 success.
Oh, son of a gun.
Peter's balls. 6. 1.
We're dead. Oh, shite.
So that's 3 versus 1. So you guys are trucking and you see the outskirts of the lodge in the distance and the first guard towers. Sorry. What? Bear with me 1 second. Something's being stupid. There we go. So you see the lodge on the massive hill in the distance as you kind of come out of the sparse woods, and they're getting closer and closer and closer, and you are getting slower and slower and slower. They're on at least Garens and Roundseys, and you guys are on mules, and they're catching up steadily. And you're screaming out at the guard tower at the bottom of the hill, and you're not sure they hear you or not. I would like everybody to decide between yourselves a number between 1 and 3.
Two.
Yeah, 2 works for me.
Well, each one of you has a different number. Or actually, go ahead and roll 1d6. Each one of you. Let's do that.
That's either great or terrible.
What were these sixes before? What the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Everybody reroll.
Oh boy.
So Peter
Okay,
rolled a
Ben.
5, 4, 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So as you're going, you're getting closer and closer, and you think you're going to make it. And all of a sudden, Peter, who is in the back, his horse or his mule's foot hits something, and he flies over the mule's head, hits the ground roughly. And Black Ben and Theomer kind of take off in front of him. And go ahead and roleplay what happens. Or roleplay what you guys do.
I see this.
You're a good 50 feet away from him, and Theomer's like laying on his stomach. As the...
You mean Peter, right?
Yeah, sorry, Peter.
Okay.
As Ben's mule gallops as fast as he can, he hears Peter's mule crash to the ground, and he turns behind him and sees Peter lying on the ground. And as much as he hates himself for it, he turns and faces back forward and keeps galloping, knowing to turn around would be suicide.
For his part, Peter yells at him, "Go, go!" and then tries to throw himself off the road into the bushes.
Knowing he just said, knowing he just said, go, 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 like, I think that gives him the strength enough to push forward. Okay. Warrior gives you strength, Peter.
So Black Ben and Theomer ride ahead and they get to the first guard tower, and as they look back, as Peter's trying to roll into the brush, he is quickly surrounded by men on horses with spears and swords, and they're stabbing into him. He takes dozens of wounds, and I'll let Peter go ahead and narrate his own death.
Peter tries to resist, tries to fight back, but is overwhelmed. He can't get to the ones with the spears, and then he's got the spears stabbed at him, and the ones with the sword is close in and finish him off.
Okay. As he's being stabbed dozens of times, he sees the horses kind of move out of the way, and on the horse is a man with a very big smile. And he looks at you and he's like, you gotta wait for a time. I wouldn't want to live either without a dick. And without another word, he comes with an overhand chop and splits Peter's skull down to the nose. And Peter's last vision is his family, Talia, and his failed duty. And at that time, the guards from House Hilwood launch a volley of arrows to repel the horsemen, and they turn and gallop back the way they came. And that is the end.
Well done.
Good job. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Good.
Peter, I feel bad for you, Peter.
It happens.
Theremore's probably gonna have lots of guilt about that.
Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I didn't really know exactly how this would work out, but everything seemed to go kind of to plan. So yeah, I just hope everybody liked it and wants to play again and that sort of thing. Not everything will put you in such shitty circumstances early, obviously.
Feel for you, Peter, man. Dude, man, I feel bad. I think Theramore would feel bad after that.
Honestly, Peter saved your ass, because if you guys would have not taken the horses, there's a great chance you all would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who had the gold, by the way? Ben thinks casually.
I would say it was probably Theomar, since he has two hands at least. Yeah, that would be such a dick move if Peter had her. What's that?
I was saying they need to have a drink for Peter.
Yeah. Lament the loss.
I don't know. I don't think 12 gold dragons is enough for that type of life.